everyone, this is Chinal Bhagat. Welcome back to Code Run Education. Today we will discuss about Android View and ViewGroup. In Android, every application that you build has some form of user interface, means some kind of layout to which user can interact and gives further instructions. For example, as you see on the screen, I have an image of application in which I have simple interface to send an SMS. Here to send a SMS, first I have to type a message in text box, then click on the send button. So this is a simple send message user interface. These and any other user interfaces can be accomplished through View and ViewGroup, and from which View objects are used specifically for drawing content onto the screen of Android device. That means I can say that these edit text and button are example of View class in Android, and in your Java code the easiest way to use them is through an XML layout file. Let me show you an example of XML file. As shown on the screen, we have an Android layout file here in which we have some text views, buttons, edit text, etc. And here we have the code to that layout file, which is an XML file. In Android, to create user interface, we always use is XML coding. In these XML files, we have to use different types of views and view groups. Here views like edit text, this one is called edit text, this is a text view, button, checkbox and radio button are used. Now let's take a look at view group in Android. So view group is kind of container that contains these views, and it's an invisible object used to contain other view and view group in order to organize and control the layout of the screen. The example of view group are linear layout, relative layout, table layout, etc. While all view group classes perform a similar task, each view group subclass exists for a specific purpose. Let's take a look at some of them. So first is the linear layout. The linear layout exists to display items in a stacked order. For example, in a horizontal order or in a vertical order, and this is a practical layout example of linear layout. Next one is a relative layout. This view group subclass allows you to display items on the screen relative to each other. For example, as you can see on the screen, this layout is below layout 1 and is on the left of the layout 2. So it is relatively situated to layout 1 and to layout 2. It provides us, means these relative layouts provides us more flexibility and freedom over how your layout appears compared to the linear layout. Then another one is frame layout. Designed for displaying a single child view at a time, the frame layout draws items in a stack and provides a simple way to display an item across the various screen sizes. Then this is a scroll view, an extension of the frame layout. The scroll view handles the scrolling its child objects on the screen. As you can see in this example, here this layout is hidden at the bottom of the screen, but as you scroll up, then this whole layout will be shown from the bottom of the screen. So this is a scroll view. Now we will try to declare one UI element in XML file. For that, let's launch the Android Studio and here create a new layout file. But how can we create the new layout in the Android? For that, just go to resource folder, which is denoted as RES, and after that in layout folder just right click on this layout folder and then new and select the option layout resource file. Just name your file. I am naming it at activity underscore demo. Next, you can choose your root element. By default, it is provided the constraint layout as our root element. But I want to choose linear layout as my root element. After that, just click on OK and your Android Studio will create a new layout resource file, and here you can see my root element of this XML file is linear layout. So once we define the root element, then we can add additional layout objects or widgets as the child elements to build view hierarchy that defines our layout. Now let's try to create the simple layout design as we have seen in this first image. Let's try to create the layout like this, a simple send SMS layout. To create this type of layout, go to the design view of our XML file. This is our XML file, and you can go to design view by clicking this tiny button from here. So this is your design view. First of all, we will need an edit text. For that, just open your tools palette from here and you can find edit text view object from this palette. If you can't find it, just search from here like this, edit text, and you can see this plain text. Just drag and drop this view object on your screen, and now as you can see my edit text has been added. The next object I want to add is button, but before that, as I want to add a button next to, right side of this layout or this view object, I have to declare my root element, which is linear layout, as horizontal layout. For that, go to the code. Now as you can see, our edit text is added as a child element of our linear layout. Now I have to define the orientation of this layout as horizontal, and after that I will add a button just like I have added the edit text. Just select the button and drag and drop it onto your screen. Right now I am not able to view my button. For that, I have to just adjust some attributes of edit text and button view. On that note, let me show you some of the important attributes of view object. As you can see, these are the list of some important attributes of the view objects. We can define, add, edit or adjust any kind of attributes as we need it. For example, Android :ID. This is the ID which uniquely identifies the view. So this ID is the most important attribute of any kind of view object. Whenever you declare your view object, you must add your ID to your view object. Next one is layout width and layout height. Layout width is defined to set the width of the layout, and height is defined to set the height of the layout. Then layout margin top. This is the extra space on the top side of your layout. That means if you want to leave some space at the top of your layout or at the bottom of your layout, you have to define attribute Android colon layout margin top or layout margin bottom. As well as if you want to leave an extra space at the left side or right side of the layout, you have to define layout margin left or layout margin right. Another option or another attribute for leaving space or for extra space, you can also define padding left, padding right, padding top or padding bottom attributes. But this space will be left inside your layout, not outside your layout, but inside your layout. Now another attribute is layout gravity, layout weight. Layout gravity specifies how child views are positioned. If you want to position your child view at left side of the layout of the root element of root layout, you can set its layout gravity as left side. If you want to position your child to the center of the layout, then you can set an attribute layout gravity as center. Then layout weight. This specifies how much an extra space in the layout should be allocated to the view. For example, we have two views in one layout, one linear layout or one root layout, and if you want to share the same weight or if you want to share same space to your both views, you have to declare the attribute layout weight as 1 both of views. Next one is layout X and layout Y. Obviously, this specifies the X coordinates and Y coordinates of your layout. As you can see, right now we are not able to see our button view. For that, we have to adjust some properties or some attributes of our views, like layout width. Here by default layout width is defined as match parent. What does it mean by match parent? Match parent means this layout, that means the width of this edit text layout should match the parent layout, which is a linear layout. But if I select wrap content here, if I set the width of the edit text as wrap content, I can see this button view. So let's change this attribute as wrap content. Wrap content means my edit text will take a width as needed by this layout and it will not take any extra width. The width should be wrapped around its content. Now if we will see in design view, yes, now I can see my button. So now let's change the ID of these views, like edit 1 and btn1, and here let's change the text of this button as send. You can also add one attribute like hint in this edit text. Hint That means it shows what type of information should be added in this edit text. For example, I want to take the username from user. So I have to write enter username. Whatever text I will write in this hint attribute, it will show when the screen will be loaded, and when I select this edit text and when the cursor show up, this enter username text will be gone, and whatever text user types in this edit text will be shown. When I have created my layout file, I need to load this XML file from our activity. I can load this file from onCreate method of our activity by writing a line of code here. So this is my main activity, and in the onCreate method of my main activity, I will write the set content view, and in this bracket r.layout dot the name of our XML file, which is activity_demo. So if you observe this line of code, we are calling our layout using set content view method in the form of r.layout.file name. Here our XML file name is activity_demo. Now if you run your project, the main activity calls out the layout file activity_demo, and on your screen this user interface will be shown. So far we learned to create new XML file and to add different view objects to it. We can instantiate these layout elements at runtime also. For that we need to create our own custom view and view group objects programmatically with required layouts. So let's see some same example and try to add the edit text and button and the whole layout at the runtime. For that you have to write the whole code in your activity and in onCreate method. So let me just delete this line first, and I will write edit text ed1 equal to new edit text this ed1. So what I have done here, I have declared an object ed1 of edit text. Now I can set any kind of attribute of this edit text by ed1 dot set text. Enter username or ed1 dot set hint. Please provide username. Then I will declare one button equal to new button. So I have created the objects of my views. Now I have to include it in one layout or in one view group object. For that I will declare a linear layout object. And I will add all these views, these two views, to my linear layout. And after that I will add this layout to my main activity by writing the same content or same code as set content view, and here I will not type r.layout.file name because I have created the linear layout right here in my activity. So I will pass the object of this linear layout. So like this you can create or declare all the views and views objects on the runtime. I run this program, our layout will be added at the runtime. By creating a custom view and view group programmatically, we can define our layouts based on our requirements in Android application. So this is it for today. Goodbye everyone.